I can't fit everything I manifested in 1 week into this video, so the title is a bit deceptive. I really have had to trim down this list so that I don't just go on and on and on and on, but I wanted to create a video for you to show you all the different kinds of ways that you could be using the law of attraction to create your reality. Now, I've never made a video like this before, so let me know if you like it. If you like hearing about the things that I've manifested in a week or a day, let me know and I can make more videos like this. Or if you hate it and you'd rather me do something else, let me know what kind of videos you would like to see in the comments so that I'm sure to make content that resonates with you. But let's jump right on in. All right, so I've got a few categories. I'm doing this in categories, and I'm gonna start with the fun category. So these are some fun things that I manifested this week through the law of attraction. I'm gonna start with one of my favorites, and it's a really awesome spring break for me and my family, like a super awesome trip. Now, we've been trying to think of a trip to take our kids on for spring break of this year, and it's kind of a big deal to me because during COVID, we stopped traveling a lot, and I really want to get us back to the point where we're enjoying our family and we're taking trips and having our kids see new things. And we wanted to go to a place that was tropical, and we wanted to go to some place that was out of the country because my kids just got their passports a few months ago. And so we were thinking of going to the Bahamas. And the Bahamas trip looked great. It fit those buckets. But the cost of the room was a little bit steep for what we were gonna get. So we found a room that was okay. It was an okay room. It was like a room with, it was almost kind of like a studio. It had a pull-out couch. The kids could stay on the couch and we'd have the bed. And the room was $1,300 a night, which, honestly, I don't mind paying that much to go someplace, but if I'm paying that much, I kind of expect that I'm gonna have a few separate rooms. Maybe there's a kitchen, maybe there's a dining room, maybe there's an extra bathroom. But for that price, I had this expectation that I should, quote unquote, be getting more. But we kept looking around and we didn't really see anything. So finally, we were just gonna go ahead and pull the trigger. And I had this moment in the morning where I was like, you know what, whatever, we'll just go ahead and get it, it's fine. And I let it go. And I kid you not, I jumped into the shower during that time. And when I got out of the shower and I checked my phone, one of my close friends had sent out a text message to our friends group chat about a trip that she's going on to the Dominican Republic and this really great rate that she was able to get for all of us to go. And it was gonna be an all-inclusive. So my husband and I looked into it, and on that trip, we were able to find a room that was not just a room, but it was multiple rooms. And it had a living room, a dining room, 2 bathrooms, and a huge patio with a spa on it. And it was only $1,100 a night. So that trip was gonna save us $200. So we decided we'd go ahead and do it. Now the beauty is, not only is the room cheaper, not only is it bigger, not only does it still fit the buckets of us having to be able to go out of the country and having a tropical vacation, but now we get to go with all of our friends and it's all inclusive. So that was one of my favorite things that I manifested this week, was like the perfect vacation for spring break. Now, another fun thing that I manifested this week has to do with clothing, okay? And for me, this is kind of a big deal because I used to have a terrible time shopping. Like when I would go to the mall or I'd go to the store, I would spend hours combing through and having a very hard time finding things that actually fit and looked good on me. But one of the things that I've learned to do is to just kind of visualize my outcome before I do things. And so now when I go shopping, I kind of think about finding the perfect thing or trying it on and being really pleased, and it works out really well for me. So this week, I actually went to the mall with a really good friend of mine, and every single store we went into, the first couple things that I grabbed, I would try on, and they all fit perfectly. In every store that I went to, I was able to pick up 2 items that looked awesome. And this is great for me because it allows me to go out, get the clothes that I want without all the fuss, and be able to come home and have great stuff to wear. And I also did that this week when it came to online shopping. So right now I'm trying to get more things for like my fall and winter wardrobe. And so I bought a few things online. And in the past, I wouldn't even buy things online because I had zero faith that if I bought things online, they were going to fit. It never worked out. But now that's what I do. I imagine myself, actually when I purchase it online, I'll think about how it's gonna look on me. I'll imagine myself checking myself out in the mirror, and everything that I purchased online fit like a glove. And another really fun thing that I manifested this week was a really full social calendar. There's certain times that I really feel like being sociable and hanging out and doing lots of stuff. And I never used to really enjoy in the past that to do that, I'd have to be making a lot of phone calls, I'd have to be touching in with a lot of people. It felt like I had to do a lot of work in order to have a full social calendar. But now I've kind of learned that I can just magnetize that to me. I can envision people calling, people texting, hanging out with the people that I'd like to hang out with, and then magically I start getting lots of invitations. And so, one of them of course was the spring break trip, but I've also gotten invitations to go out to dinner, for parties, just to come over and hang out at people's homes, and they've been flying in right now without me having to lift a finger. So that's the highlights of my fun category. What kinds of fun things have you manifested this week? If you would, go ahead and share them in the comments so people can see all the different fun kind of stuff that you can get into and create in your reality with the law of attraction. All right, now my next category of manifestation is a category I love because it's a category of fixing problems. When I have problems in my life, I like to use the law of attraction to manifest a result rather than trying to figure it out all by myself and banging my head against the wall, because that's what I used to do whenever I had problems. And so here's a few problems that I solved. I manifested the solution through the law of attraction. Okay, now the first one's really cool, and I've done this one a few times. It has to do with a glitch or a problem just kind of fixing itself, a digital problem. So I do a lot of work online and I run my own website. And so in order to make changes to my website, I physically have to go in and change the website, or I have to update it. Well, I was in my website earlier this week doing something and realized that within one of the plugins, there was a problem. I wasn't able to do something I usually could do. Okay, there was an error, there was a problem. Now, ordinarily in the past, what I would have done was watch a bunch of YouTube videos on it, go searching for answers, call my web designer, you go through all this rigmarole to try and fix the problem. But what I've learned through the law of attraction is that I actually don't have to do that. When things like that happen, my go-to response is I'll just kind of put it away and I'll say, you know what, maybe this will fix itself. Maybe this problem will fix itself. And I'll get out of the website or whatever it is that I'm doing and go out about my business. And I love to do this because when I come back, this frequently happens. What happened this week is that I come back, I'm working in my website again, I open up the same program and the problem's gone. The error is gone. Nobody worked on the site, nobody updated the site, didn't pay a web designer to fix the site. The problem just fixed itself. This is something I highly advise. When problems fall into your lap, toss it out there that, you know what, maybe this will fix itself, and just walk away. Very frequently, these problems resolve themselves for me. Another great problem, this is one I love to do, and I've done this one a number of times. Whenever I start to feel a cold coming on, okay, so I was feeling a cold coming on, what I'll do is I'll go to bed at night and I'll just tell myself, you know what, maybe I'll wake up in the morning and I'll feel great. So I went to bed the other night with a scratchy throat, runny nose, it was totally coming on, but I told myself that going to bed, maybe I'll wake up and I'm gonna feel just great. And I did. I can't tell you how many colds or little bugs that I've gotten that I've turned it around with simply by putting it out there that maybe this will go away and I'll just be fine. Another awesome problem that I manifested a great result with, what has to do with having a person wash my car. So I had a guy that came and washed my car for me so that I didn't have to do it myself. And he got really busy and was back in school and was unable to keep up with his schedule. And so he wasn't going to be able to wash my car anymore. And so at that point, I knew I was going to go out and have to find another one. So I used to like bang my head against the wall and get really frustrated whenever I had to like replace a system or replace a person. There's all this thinking I have to do. But now I just kind of put it out there that the right person's going to come to me. And I told my husband that I needed a car washer, and he went out and found a guy pretty quick. We got in touch and he came to wash my car. And the awesome thing is this guy works on a much better schedule for me, and he's substantially less expensive. And I didn't have to lift a finger. And in fact, this is something that I've done a number of times. Like if you need to replace a housekeeper, or you need to replace your cable, or you need to replace something that you rely on. A lot of times the tendency to think is, oh my goodness, I'm losing this person or I'm losing this system. What am I gonna do? But a really great way to look at it is the way that I like to look at it, which is the right person or the right system is going to come to me, and it's going to be even better. And I've noticed that over time, every time I have to replace a person or a system or a service, I get something even better, and often at a lower price. Here's another problem that resolved itself for me, or a potential problem. You know, I had injured myself a few months ago. I work out a lot, and I was in the gym and I injured myself and I was unable to run. So I took 2 months off from running and got all better, and I wanted to start running again. Now, traditionally, whenever I've taken that much time off of running, there's a bit of a learning curve for me to get my stride back. Okay, I'm huffing and puffing, I can't run that far, it's challenging. And so this was the first time I did this with running, but I thought, you know what, maybe I can use the law of attraction to just be able to start running again just like I was. And so the night before I went to the gym to go hop on the treadmill, I sat there and visualized myself running and it being easy. Like I saw my speed on the machine, you know, how fast I was going, I could feel my breathing, and I really simulated that experience in my mind. And the next morning, when I went to the gym, I hopped on the treadmill at my normal pace, and I was just fine. I felt great. I was able to take all that time off and not lose my progress with my running. All right, I got some more fun stuff that I've manifested this week for you. But first, if you enjoy law of attraction videos that teach you how to manifest the life of your dreams, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, turn on the little notification bell. I do put out law of attraction videos like this every single week, and I know you'll enjoy coming along for the ride. All right, now I have another category, because I'm doing this in categories. I had fun things, I had fixing things. This category is like my functional things. These are like everyday things that you can use the law of attraction for to get great results. Now, this is one I use a lot with money. I love doing this one. So I told you I went to the mall this week with my friend, and we went to a fancy mall. It was not an inexpensive mall. It was a mall that had a lot of high-end stores. And so I ended up spending $1,000 while I was there, okay? Now, in the past, if I spent that much money, I would feel stressed out about it. But one thing that I've started to do is every time I make a purchase, I'll tell myself that the more I spend, the more I make. So every time I checked out to buy a sweater or buy a handbag or whatever it is that I was buying, I would tell myself, you know, there's gonna be more that comes back. Every time I spend, I make more. And so we were at the mall and driving to and from and spent the whole day, but it was like 5 hours, okay? When I got home, I checked my email and I noticed that during the time that I was gone, I made $1,500 through sales on my website. So I spent $1,000 and I got back $500. That's a fun little trick that I like to use whenever I go shopping. I'll just tell myself, the more I spend, the more I make, and somehow the money comes back to me. All right, here was a fun one. Again, like my social calendar has been kind of full, been getting a lot of invitations. And so the other day we went to the movies with some friends. And then after the movies, we thought, you know what, hey, let's go to dinner. And there is a restaurant right next to the movie theater in our town. It's a fairly busy restaurant. It's one of the nicer, busier kind of locations. And it was Saturday night at 6:30, peak times. Not only that, we had a table of 6. So it was a slightly larger table, and we wanted to get into the restaurant during peak hours at a busy restaurant. Now, ordinarily, you would imagine that in that situation, you're going to have to wait at least 10 or 15 minutes, maybe even an hour for that restaurant. Well, what I did when I walked up to the hostess stand, what I imagined her doing, I saw her kind of fiddling. I'm like, you know what she's gonna do? I'm gonna walk up there and tell her about the table, and she's gonna pick up the menus like she's gonna take us. So I visualized that next thing that usually happens when the table is ready. They grab the silverware, they grab the menus, and they take you. Because if you're gonna wait, they just stand in there and they tell you gotta wait. They don't grab the menus. And so when I went up to talk to her, I visualized her doing that, and as soon as I told her we needed a table of 6, she reached back, she grabbed the menus, and we got right in during the peak time. And another really cool thing that I manifested this week was a tremendous amount of signups for the updates for my new program. So I make programs on the law of attraction, and a lot of times before I launch those programs, I'll kind of set up a list that people can join if they're interested in learning more about the program when it goes live. Well, this week, within the first couple of days of me getting this thing up and running, I had more people sign up for this one than I did in 2 months of update signups for my last program. So a tremendous amount of interest in my new Law of Attraction program. And this program is pretty cool because it's all about learning how to eliminate any debt that you have without having to spend less. So usually the traditional advice, if people are going to teach you how to get rid of your debt, is they tell you to stop spending, close your memberships, and go with less. Well, I figured out how to not only reduce debt, but also have a lot more money coming in than going out. And you don't have to reduce your spending. In fact, you can actually increase your spending and do this. And so if this is a program that you're interested in learning more about, you can also go ahead and sign up for the updates for that program. I will go ahead and put it below in the description. And when you sign up, I'll also send you a 50% coupon code for that program when it goes live. So if you're interested in that, again, please make sure to go ahead and look below in the description and go ahead and sign up. Additionally, if you are new to my work here, I would love to invite you to take my 5-minute Law of Attraction test. If you would like to know for sure that you are the one creating your reality and what you think is what is brought into your world, I've designed a very simple, very quick Law of Attraction test where you can put something out and watch it come back. And to take that test now, please go to manifestingtest.com. Again, that link is manifestingtest.com. I will, of course, also put a link to the test below in the description, but manifestingtest.com is the direct link. Thanks so much for watching today's video on everything, well, almost everything, some of the things that I manifested this week. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, and of course, I look forward to bringing you another one soon. Bye-bye.